So excited to be here with Alan Mulally, former CEO of Boeing and Ford, who Frances Hesselbein awarded the very first Leader to Leader Institute of the Leader of the Future Award in 2006. Alan, we asked you to write the foreword to our book, Work is Love Made Visible. And there's a wonderful story you tell about the experience and what you learned from Frances. Could you share this with us?
Well, I sure can, Sarah, and it's a pleasure to share this with you. And so, if you can show um, the slide, and this is our slide from our Working Together Leadership and Management System that we use throughout the world to help people learn how to create a culture that enables people to work together to create value for the greater good. And as Francis would say, for a bright future for all. And so when you look at this slide, you can see over the right-hand side the book, Work is Love Made Visible. And my story is about this book and how Francis and Sarah and Marshall Goldsmith asked me to write the foreword to the book. And you can see the book's title, Work is Love Made Visible. And you can see Francis and Marshall and Sarah. And then you also see right below that, the foreword by Alan Mulally. And then you can see the purpose of the book is finding your purpose. And what they did, it says from world's greatest thought leaders, they actually have 35 leaders that wrote articles about how to find your purpose in life. And so they come to see me, all three of them, and they share this with me. And they said, Alan, we would like to invite you to write the foreword to this book. And I said, really? And I said, do you mind if I read the book, your draft? And they said, oh, no, absolutely. So they gave me a copy of it. I read the entire book. We got back together again, and I shared with them, and Francis was the leader for the conversation. I said, I read the book. The articles are phenomenal. They're great. And I don't think that I could really add anything to your book. You just have tremendous content from great people there. And so why do you want me to write the foreword? And they said, and Frances says to me, and she always gets a little bit closer, and she says, Alan, everyone knows who you are. They know what you've done. But what they want to know is why you are who you are. I went, oh, okay. And so what would it be like? How do I approach this to write a foreword to it? And she said, well, what we would like you to do is to write your story, and especially starting with your formation of who you are as a person and why you are this way, and how you got so interested in serving with love and humility. And I said, well, I would really have to start when I was born. And she goes, exactly. And so I said, okay, so I would like to start. I'd like to work on this for you. So I did, and it ended up with like 3 pages, which we have here in front of you now. And you can see that I started out with everything that I could remember, and it started with my parents. And I was very fortunate to have parents that absolutely loved me. And they were so great, and they taught me everything that I used through the rest of my life. And and if you go to the next slide, Sarah, and then you look down, there's the Allen story. And so my parents also shared with me some people that they really believed in. And guess who one of them was, Sarah? It was Frances Hesselbein. And so they shared with me everything about Frances Hesselbein. And I had sisters that were part of the Girl Scouts of America. And so she was really part of our life from day one. And you can see the things that my parents taught me. And you see the first one at the bottom, the purpose of life is to love and be loved. And every morning, Sarah, my mother or my father would say to me these questions and ask me these questions. And so my mom, for example, would say, okay, honey, and then I'd be on the way to school. They'd stop me in the morning and say, so honey, do you remember what the purpose of life is? And I said, oh, Mom, I really do. And you've taught me it really well. The purpose of life is clearly to love and be loved. And then she would get a little closer to me like Frances did. And she'd say, oh, honey, remember, in that order. Oh, okay. Yes, Mom. Thank you very much. Exactly. Then the next day, my dad would say this most of the time. And honey, remember, to serve is to live. And then you can see the additional ones, seek to understand before you seek to be understood. And by working together with others, you can make the most positive contribution to the most people. Does this sound like Frances so far? Unbelievably neat. And then next slide, please, Sarah. Look at this. Frances, respect everyone. We're all creatures of God, no matter what your religions are, because in all religions and God, what you really are focused on is the greater good of mankind. And respect everyone. Respect everyone is absolutely critical to that. And develop one integrated life to deliver your life's work. So I then started out to implement this. And because we didn't have very many resources, then I tried every different occupation I could think of, from my paper route to my lawn mowing business to working at the Dillon's grocery store as a bagger and a checker. And what I just found out is, boy, to serve is to live really, really works. And people actually want to appreciate you for it. And also that the more that you included all your stakeholders, then the more that you could actually serve for the greater good. So that was my formation, and I did this all the way through college. I worked for all the professors because we didn't have a lot of resources, so I wanted to pay for my education, and then got my degrees in aeronautical and astronautical engineering, and then I had a chance to join Boeing, and then I was on the program on the airplane programs, on the design for the 707, the 27, the 37, the 747, the 757, the 767. They asked me to be the leader of engineering and then the program manager for the 777 and the 787, and then the CEO of Boeing Commercial Airplanes. And then Bill Ford called and asked me to serve at Ford and help save Ford. And also we created together the #1 automobile company in the United States and the fastest growing in the world. So that is what I learned from Frances from day one. And you can imagine the first time that I met her in person, Sarah, was incredible. And we were in a meeting together. She held my hand. She encouraged me to share my story with the participants in the meeting. And I realized then again that the purpose of life is to love and be loved in that order, and to serve with love and humility is absolutely the essence of life.
Wow, what a story, what an answer. And I have just one more question. I was hoping I could take a little bit more of your time and ask you. The reason that we really wanted you to write this forward is you are, we believe, our the model, the example of our leader of the future. And so when we were putting this book together, it's based on this question: what do you see when you look out the window that's visible but not yet seen by others? So I'm going to go back maybe 2 slides, and there your answer is on that slide.
There you go.
It's right there. If you wouldn't mind
Oh,
just reading that answer to us and then sharing with us a little bit about that as you see fit.
well, absolutely. I had never heard this question before, and Frances asked me this, and and I, she gave me a chance to think about it. And we had um, a little bit of time, and I came back with this answer to her. And I see talented and motivated people working together for the greater good. And I see three components that are absolutely critical to the true success of any venture: company, product, or life. And that is humility, love, and service. And I see the unique contribution of a leader to hold themselves and their leadership team responsible and accountable for creating a smart and healthy organization that is delivering value for the greater good. I and Frances smiled. She had a tear in her eye, and she could not have been more supportive. And I, as Sarah, I was very fortunate to be have a wonderful friendship with her, and she was so encouraging and so supportive. And the neatest thing that she loved about this, Sarah, is that, of course, I led this way all the way through Boeing, all the way through Ford, and also when we're working on a 777 airplane, we are working with over 600,000 people that are helping create this airplane. It was the finest airplane in the world, the safest, the most efficient. So you can imagine the people that had a chance to experience everything that Frances taught us about how to be as a human being, and also how to do, where you are leading with humility, love, and service for the greater good and a bright future for all of mankind. And so the thing that Frances appreciated and helped me appreciate more than ever was how all the participants, because they behaved this way, then they aligned their beliefs and their values with the behaviors. So they became so authentic, Sarah. And then that allowed them to be the same person, whether it's their quote work life, their life of service, or is it their family life? Is it their spiritual life? Is it their community life? They become the same person, the way they act, both their be part and how they do it. And their anxiety reduces, their stress reduces, because they now are the same person and they're creating value for the greater good because to serve is to live. Isn't that incredible?
Incredible. Thank you so much. Appreciate you very much. Love you.
Well, and Sarah, I really appreciate Frances, and I really appreciate you, and I really appreciate Marshall Goldsmith. But it all started for all of us, and supported, and we were all encouraged by Frances Hesselbein. And we love her, and we love all of our friends.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.